you've probably been wondering, if you are in Canada and you're a permanent resident, or you're here and you're a temporary resident, you may be wondering, are you able to travel to the States visa free? Now, this is a question that quite a few persons have been asking me recently in my email and also underneath a few videos. So I thought to myself, why not just do a video reply to it? Hi guys, welcome back to another video, welcome back to another reasoning. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. If it's your first video, welcome to the Anderson's family. If you're a returning viewer, returning subscriber, welcome back to another conversation. Before we get into it guys, just asking you guys just to do one quick thing for me. Take a minute, hit that subscribe button, smash a like on the video, and as usual, leave your comments in the comment section. So let's talk about migrate to Canada. It's no secret, Canada and the US are very closely knit when it comes down to immigration. But are you able to travel to the States without a visa if you are in Canada and you are a permanent resident? Let's talk about it. The answer is no. Or probably I shouldn't say no. The answer is dependent on which country you are a citizen of. If you're a citizen of a country that has a US visa waiver, then you might not need a visa to go to the States. But if you're from a country, like for example, if you're from Jamaica, that needs a US visa to go to the States, even if you're a permanent resident in Canada, you still would have to apply for a non-immigrant visa, aka a visitor's visa, to travel to the States. Becoming a permanent resident doesn't exempt you from that. You still have to apply for a visa in order to travel to the States unless you are a Canadian citizen. When you become a Canadian citizen and get that Canadian passport, then you're able to travel to the States without the need to apply for a visitor's visa because there's a US visa waiver. But even so, when you travel to the States, you're not able to work, you're not able to go to school unless you apply for a work permit or a study permit to work or study in the States. Becoming a Canadian citizen doesn't make it automatic for you to be able to just live and work and play in the States. You're able to visit the States without a visa. Safe to say, if you're a temporary resident in Canada, if you are here on a study permit or if you're here on a work permit, same rule applies. Depending on your country of citizenship, you might need to apply for a US visa in order to travel to the States nonetheless. But what I've heard a lot of persons say is, listen, once you are in Canada legally, the chances are you are more likely to get approved for your US visa than if you're applying from outside of Canada. Like for example, if you're in Jamaica and you're applying to go to the States, it might be a lot more challenging for you to be approved. But if you're in Canada, the approval rate seems to be higher. However, you still have to go through the process of applying to go to get a visa in order to go to the States. Now, if you're when I actually didn't know this, and I only came across this information while I was doing the research to just make sure that the information that I'm giving you is actually legitimate, right? So if you are a native Canadian, status native Canadian, if you are a native Canadian, status native Canadian, meaning that you are a First Nation and your family is as a part of that group that has been the original part of the Americas, let's call it that. I didn't know that not only do they don't need a visa to travel to the States, but they also can work in the States, study in the States, and live in the States without applying for any additional paperwork or anything like that. So that was very interesting to learn when I was doing my research. Somebody can clarify that if I did get that right or if I just misread what I was reading in the comment section. That would be greatly appreciated. Now, the process to apply for a US visa from inside Canada. Now, the process to apply for a US visa from inside of Canada is really no different than applying for a US visa from outside of Canada, meaning in your home country. You still have to go through the process of booking an appointment. Then you go to one of the US consulate or embassy and you do your interview. Same process applies. Here in Alberta, the only US embassy that I am aware of is in Calgary. So you still would have to book your appointment, go there, do your thing, and then get your visa stamp up. There's quite a few around the country, not just in Alberta. There's in Ontario, there's in BC, so forth and so on. So do your research, apply for your visa, and do it. A lot of persons make the mistake of thinking that once they become a permanent resident, then it's a green flag that you can just go to the border and go to the States. No, they will turn you back and refuse you entry. and then you'll get a refusal of entry on your document because you're not able to apply for an ETA to go to the States as a permanent resident. You need a visa to go to the States, even as a permanent resident of Canada. And equally, if you're in the States and you are from a country that need a visa to come to Canada and you have a green card in the States, you still have to apply for a Canadian visa in order to come to Canada, even if you have a green card in the States. Now, what the permanent resident card gives you is the opportunity to travel into Canada without a visa. You're a permanent resident of Canada. So when you're entering into Canada, that card gives you that permanent status, right? But you can't use that as a travel document. Your passport is what you use as your travel document. So unless you are from a country that has a visa exemption, any country you're going, you need to apply for that visa. Your PR card doesn't give you the access to those countries. Likewise, if you're in the States and you have a green card, you can't travel on your green card outside of the States. You have to travel on your passport. And if you're from a country that needs visa to go to a respective country, then you have to apply for it, right? So I just wanted to just share that quick not update, but just that quick point to just clear up a lot of confusion for a lot of persons who are just not sure. A lot of people they're just not sure. They think that you become a PR and then you can travel to the States. That's not the case. Smash a like on this video, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. Really appreciate you guys. See you guys in the next video.